We've got a lot of great stuff to hear about, and you all probably want to get home at some point. So, first of all, my name's Fritz Vandover. I'm a board member of the St. Louis Park Public Schools Foundation. Welcome to the 2019 Grant Share Celebration. I've been on the grants committee for about 2 years, on the committee for the board for about 2 years. So welcome to this year's Grant Share Celebration. We're really excited to hear about all the projects. Thank you to everyone who's come. I mean, there's obviously all the grant recipients, but we've got teachers and retired teachers and community members, and the superintendent has come by, so thank you for coming, Superintendent Osai. And I want you all to know who the board members are, so if you could all raise your hands, board members. They're kind of grouped over here. That wasn't intentional. Not just for applause, but for if you have questions or thoughts or anything, flag one of us down. We're happy to talk to you all and hear insight. We really want the insight of everybody to hear how we can make this a better process and a better experience for everybody to better serve our students. Other things, I have to thank Ingrid Culp and Mary Bloomgren they're on the grants committee as well, and for co-conspirators in planning this event. They've been fearless and diligent. Thank you both. So I'm not going to give a big long-winded speech about education. Just know that we are very excited to support the work you all do. We are working hard to do more, raise more, grant more, be more nimble and more creative, and as Mark knows, try to meet the needs where they are. So just know that as through this process, we have our grant. It's been open for a while now, but our 2019-2020. Is that right? Is already time? Yes. Our grant application cycle for the next academic year is open, so please come to our site, apply for a grant, refer your friends, your colleagues, your neighbors if they're teachers. Anyone in the school district can apply for a grant, and we are happy to hear from everyone. And you can send us questions. You send me questions if you have questions about how do I do this and can I do this? And I already had questions. Can I do another one? I did one last year. Yes, of course. Put it in the hopper. So without further ado, a little logistics. I'm going to take the MC. I'm going to take my privilege, and I'm going to put a couple of people up at the front of the line because just logistical reasons. So Rachel Haynes is going to lead us off, and then Jen Zips is going to come after that so that folks can get their home logistics worked out properly. So we're going to do this about 3 to 5 minutes each. So I will be here to help with the technology side. But without further ado, I'd ask that our grant recipients introduce themselves. I know names, but I don't really know faces because it's been all online interaction. So Rachel Haynes is going to kick it off for us. So let's do this.
Well, good evening. I'm Rachel Haynes. I've been in the district for 17 years, and I tend to talk a lot about how passionate I am about the arts, and so to really make myself compact and efficient this evening, I really thought I would allow the pictures to do the speaking. But the grant that you gave myself and my team at Aquila was originally given to Olivia Tolzien and myself as the co-conspirator. However, Olivia Tolzien took a role as the assistant principal in the fall, and therefore I've kind of taken over. I started Aquila Theater Arts 8 years ago with a grant that was given by the SLP Schools Foundation. And we did small showcases and encouraged after-school activities, and a couple years ago someone said, "Hey, why don't you do a musical?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Yes, I'm going to do that. So we have proudly completed The Lion King, Willy Wonka Kids, and this year's Seussical Kids. So your money was spent to not only support things like costuming and handfuls of plastic bananas and things like that for making our show really come alive and believable. But it was also spent on creating busing so that we could take the entire Aquila school over to the high school during the day and to give them a full-scale theatrical experience. And I have a couple of Aquila teachers here. I think they can give me a little shout on that. It was pretty special. It was pretty special. And you'll see in a short time here some of the photographs of what happened here. One of the things I want you to note when you're taking a look at this is this is a whole cross-section of what Aquila School looks like. There were 97 kids who tried out. 97 kids got roles, 97 kids got scripts that were funded by you. So not only were we invested in the arts. We were invested in teaching them theatrical vocabulary. We were invested in teaching them how to read music, how to read a script, how to read stage directions, how to create a character out of thin air. And so hopefully that you'll see as you watch this, that process. So here we go.
Quite a mind for your age. Why, one think, and you drag me right onto the stage.
This is the musical from Musical Kids.
Now I'm here. There's
Based
no
on the
telling
works of
what
Dr.
may
Seuss.
ensue. With a cat such as me, and a thinker like you. Oh, the things you can think. Oh, the things you can think. If you're willing to try. Think invisible.
They're wearing their numbers
or a
because
kink
that's
with the
for
stage,
their auditions.
or stare
They
to the
audition
sky.
blind.
If you open your mind, oh, the things you will find lining up to get loose. Oh, the things you can think when you think about Seuss. 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 Seuss, 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 Seuss. Oh, the things you can think. Any thinker who thinks can come up with a few. Oh, the things you can think. Think a trip on a ship to the Viper of Vip or to Solid Saloon. Think of beautiful slop with the cherry on top. You don't need an excuse. Oh, the things you can think when you think about Seuss, 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 Seuss. Think of an elephant up in a tree. Think of a person too tiny to see. Think of a bird with a one-feathered tail, going on adventure down a dangerous trail. Think of a bird who flies off on a spree. Think of a kangaroo sad as can be. Think of some monkeys with trouble in store. Think of something horrible and hairy, something sinister and scary that you never dared to think of before. Think of nobody here and the feeling of fear and the darkness of night. Ooh. All alone in your room
is when
as
they
you're
sing for
facing
the
your
first
doom.
time.
Think a glimmer of light. Oh, but I hope you're prepared to be scareder than scared, 'cause this ain't Mother Goose. Danger's right on the brink when you think about Seuss. When you think about Seuss, 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 Seuss. This might be a pool like I've read of in books, connected to one of those underground brooks, an underground river that starts here and flows right under this bathtub, and then who knows? It's possible. Anything's possible. It might go along down where no one can see, right under State Highway 203, right under the wagons, right under the toes of Mrs. Umbroso, who's hanging out clothes. It's possible. Anything's possible. It's possible. Anything's possible. This might be a river now, mightn't it be? Connecting McElligot's pool with the sea. Then maybe some fish might be swimming toward me. It's cool, it's possible.
I gotta pause this for a second. This is my student, this is Jalil, and this is Horton, whose name is Grant in real life. But Horton, one day we were in the media center, and Jalil keeps elbowing me. It's Horton. I'm like, Horton? The elephant. And I looked up, and Grant was picking up something off the printer. You can see the absolute joy in his face. And also the thing here about Grant, and that I found with many of the students, is this is their starting off point. Lil Zumberg has said at the middle school, she knows straight away who the Aquila kids are when they come to middle school theater, because they are ready to go. They have had this experience, they have auditioned, they have put themselves out there. They have tried on something new and seen themselves in a whole different light. So this is his first fan picture. So I'm gonna keep this until someday he accepts his Tony Award.
It's possible, anything's possible.
So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And all
Anything's possible. It's possible. Anything.
So really, who knows where this will lead them next? And so your money not only helped to create a program, it helped to make it so that we can sustain this program. And one of the things I wanted to say real quickly before my time is up is my kids are so anxious at Aquila to continue going with this, and we've taken a lot of your money, so I think my time in taking your money is maybe at the max. However, we do appreciate that, but what I want to say, you know, if you change your minds, that's totally fine as well. But one of the really special things that has happened is we've now had parents come forth and say, well, there were two fifth grade boys this year who actually are going to be sixth graders next year, who decided to forego presents for their birthday gifts and ask for money and gave it all to Aquila Theater Arts. And between the two of those fifth grade amazing boys, they got $380 straight back to Aquila. So that's pretty special. Now, one last thing I want to say is with additional money, and I'm absolutely so thrilled with the growth that I've seen from when we started Lion King when these kiddos were in third grade to all the way coming up here now with Seussical Kids, that I decided I wanted to do something special. And I had a little bit of money that I hadn't yet allocated for you guys. We've had a little funding from PTO and other places as well. But I decided to do a spring showcase just for the 4th and 5th graders. And when my older daughter was in Sound and Music here at the high school, I met an amazing young man whose name is Leo Dworsky. And he's a gifted singer, and he teaches voice lessons. He came from a Jewish day school, so that's only his 2nd year at Park schools. And I said to him, I said, hey, you know, I think it would be really cool if you came to our school. We pulled out some great musical theater. We talked about why you perform and things like that. And then you mentored these kids, especially these boys, so that they can see somebody who's been there, done that. I mean, they can only listen to me for so often, but to have this real kid who they can connect with, who's really not that much older than them. So I am using the additional funds from the grant that you guys gave me to pay Leo a small stipend. And we're having this big showcase with just the 4th and 5th graders on May 29th. In Maggie's Farm Theater at the Basement Athletics. So little kind of feelers and things have gone out. And then not only are the kids getting Leo's expertise, but Leo's getting that scaffolding as well to support him in however he wants to go musically, this is kind of his interest as well. So again, clearly you tell me that my time is up, which is totally fine. I get it. It needs to be. But hopefully that you feel my passion and you feel my gratefulness for all that you have done, because this has been tremendous. So thank you.
Okay. Jen, you're up. This will be the only computer switch we do, I promise. In my former life at McAllister, where I used to work, I did classroom support, so.
Every time
Do you
something
need,
got up every 3
do you need audio at all? Okay.
Everybody else can thank me for going after Rachel, because I don't have a musical performance to give y'all, so we'll take the bar down a few notches here. Everybody else has to follow that performance. So,
Okay. Kim, do you have a Google Drive one or a PowerPoint?
Google Drive.
Okay. Got them all loaded up here. Just gotta find it.
It's black.
Where are they?
Super simple.
This is gonna be the fun. Here we go. There you are. Okay. We're good?
Thank you.
Okay.
So we received a grant at Peter Hobart to continue our venture in the Mind Up curriculum. It was something we had started last year under the passion and expertise of Catherine Oberg, and some of you may have worked with Catherine around Mind Up in various capacities. But we, a group of teachers, did it on our own, just wanting a different strategy. We wanted a common language. We wanted to be building something within our building and have an opportunity for our students to understand their own workings within them. And when Catherine started explaining Mind Up to us as teachers, a lot of us fell in love with the fact that Mind Up helps students understand why they have the physiological responses that they do. The fight, flight, or freeze. When I'm not able to identify my emotions or control them, I'm not a bad person. It doesn't reflect on who I am, it's just a moment in time, and here's some skills that I can use with it, because we all have those moments in different capacities. And so we were really grateful. When we did Mind Up, we started using all Catherine supplies, and there's a bunch of different things, manipulatives is what we call them, and we all use Catherine. So then when they all go on to the next grade, they're like, oh, we already did that thing or that activity. And with the grant money, we had asked for that so we could expand those materials and have different opportunities that were tiered by the different grade levels. So Mind Up is something that is really beneficial in any and every and all part of student lives and teacher lives. I know for me, I've been able to watch my students last year and this year pause themselves in a moment that they maybe were going to do something or have a reaction, and really be able to think about it or stop and control themselves. And meanwhile, we're also teaching them the parts of the brain and what each role the part of the brain has and how all of them are connected. It gives them a set of skills to manage their own emotions and self-regulate, which especially in elementary can be really challenging for students. And I teach fourth grade, and then now my fifth graders who are able to say, I need to go and take a sensory break, or I just need to wait a few minutes, I feel like my amygdala is about to flip. And to hear a child start referring to themselves and their amygdala is really entertaining when it first started. I had a few parents last year that are like, the whatala? But it was really fun because students got to go home and talk to their parents about it too. And then their parents got to learn about it from them. And they were really proud of the fact that they knew these parts of the brain and could talk about their different functions. And it is really just been fun for our students to be able to be on that journey. And obviously when a student is able to better regulate their emotions, they're able to be in the classroom more often, they're able to engage in learning in a higher level, and everything from there goes up. It also has been a really fun way for us to help them regulate themselves within friendship groups. And so when they're having conflicts with friends and unable to figure out how to solve it, instead of it being a teacher problem, it can be, well, let's talk about this. Do you think we should do it now? Is everyone's amygdala calm? Or do you think we need a little bit of time before we're gonna go and do that? Because we've learned that when our amygdalas are flipped, there's no physical pathway for that conversation or learning to be happening. And so for students to understand that it's okay to not have to resolve it right that minute, even if it's half hour or even the next day, we'll come back to it when we're in a space where we can really process that and do that. So these are just some of the different facts and information from the Mind Up program and the different benefits that it has. And like I said, it has been so profound to watch students really recognize and be proud of the learning within themselves and allow us to be able to use it in different spaces in our school, have them use it in different academic areas, social, emotional, and that kind of stuff. And it has provided a common language. We have a long ways to go. We still want to work on having all teachers on board with it. It isn't throughout our entire building. As everyone knows, it's hard to get every teacher through every training and have every piece fully implemented. But we've definitely appreciated the money that we received from the foundation and been really grateful that we've been able to take it to another level at Peter Hobart and look forward to continuing to dig deeper into Mind Up and use that to benefit our students, their social emotional learning, their academic learning, and just the pride that they have from being in charge of themselves and really understanding themselves in that moment. So thank you for the money that you gave us. And all that kind of stuff to really help them tune into their emotions, and so we're able to get different scents and different shakers and different materials and stuff that now when they get to the next grade level won't be the same thing they did the year before.
Thank you so much, Jen. And now we're back to regular order. Okay, so we're gonna go alpha by last name. So Kia Allen is up. I will go, and you're a PowerPoint, I believe, yes. So where are you? Here you are. And just a reminder to stay near the microphone so we can,
Oh, yeah, I got you. That's good. Thank you, Fred.
and just arrow keys. Okay, you're good.
Cool. All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Kia Allen, and I am an employee of St. Louis Park Schools, Public Schools, and of course, I consider myself an educator. I'm also a speaker and a leadership and branding coach. This project that I've done, I've been with the district, I've been affiliated with the district for 4 years. This is my 3rd school year actually working for the district for St. Louis Park Schools, and I'm a proud employee, honored to work for them. And I do, in addition to my job, my day job, I do groups after school, sometimes during school at the middle school, but after school on the elementary level and the middle school level. So you guys have been a major asset to me. So this project has been called Building Together in Healthy Transitions through a group that I started with St. Louis Park called Girls Empowerment Group. And why the Love Initiative? The Love Initiative is I do a lot of work in the Twin Cities community, in the Minneapolis community, in the North Minneapolis community, and my series of workshops is entitled The Love Initiative. When I came out to St. Louis Park, I was definitely, the Love Initiative, I'm leading with that, but as I'm dealing with girls and to make them own it, make it their own, they named it Girls Empowerment Group, so that's why it's been very special, because actually the girls are now in 11th grade, the oldest. They were 8th graders then, but they created this name. So Girls Empowerment Group, and my relationship with SLP has just been for me to impact as many lives as I can while I'm here. And so sometimes it looks crazy to people because it's like, you do this, you do this, you do this. But connecting and meeting so many people and touching so many lives and changing so many families' lives is so important to me. To just sum it all up with the Love Initiative, love saved me. My mother died when I was 12 years old. I was in the 7th grade. It was junior high still then. And 2 months into it, my mother passed away. My entire 6th grade year, my mother was in the hospital, all but except maybe about 3 months. And so when my mother passed away, that was very challenging for me, and middle school just wasn't it. But anyway, our 3 areas of focus are exposure, love, and leadership. Exposing kids to opportunities or helping them create their opportunities. Love for others and how they're dealing with each other, and then also how they're dealing with themselves. And then leadership, awakening leadership within them. And so my role is just being who I needed when I was their age, being a part of their village, and teaching them about life's experiences, how to celebrate along the way. Healthy transitions. Let's face it, middle school is awkward. At least it was for me. I remember what it was like transitioning from elementary to junior high, which is now middle school. As a woman in constant implementation of my purpose and who lives in my destiny as a creator, educator, speaker, and coach, it is imperative that I help kids. It's my passion to help them transition into middle school and then maintain it and then transition out. I've had a group this year at PSI, a 5th grade group that I'm very proud of. Our focus has been self-love and building confidence, identifying their leadership, and then building solid relationships with the student and their family. And then when they get to the middle school, the families actually have a person that they have a relationship with. And so that their kid actually trusts, not that, hey, I'm trying to trust you. They actually have talked to me, they have my numbers and their email, and they reach out to me. And it's even connecting families. Some of my students that are currently my students, I'm dealing with their younger brothers and sisters. Our theme this year has been I Can Speak for Myself. And I am a firm believer that children can speak for themselves. Now, I kind of have to coach you how to speak, right, or to say the right things. But I always tell them, I'm not here to, you tell me, and then I'll kind of help you make it happen. So these are some of our confessionals. Did I cut it up? Fred?
What am I doing?
Because at my school I only have 2 in my
Started
grade.
over.
Nice.
And then also,
Hold it up.
Hold on.
Hold it up.
I'm excited to meeting friends and finding more Latinas because at my school I only have 2 in my grade.
Nice.
And then also just,
What'd you say?
learning new things and
And you said making a drama club
making drama
and being a
club,
main
yeah.
character. I know some cool
Yeah.
people over there. Get you connected.
Yeah.
What will you miss about 5th grade?
I'll probably miss, I feel like it's kind of an enclosed
Sorry. So, excuse my editing skills. We had to get these videos uploaded and get it for time. So, that's Lucia, and then this is my friend.
Fifth grade. And Nola, what's one thing that you like about our time that we spent together with the Love Initiative?
I like how I got to be friends with more people that, like Lucia and Anna and Aiden and Caleb, and a lot more people.
Nice, nice. And what are you looking forward to in 6th grade?
I look forward to meeting new teachers and making new friends.
Cool, cool. And what will you miss about 5th grade?
Everything that I've learned here, and
Okay.
5th.
Sorry.
And can you tell me one thing that you liked or enjoyed or your favorite part about the Love Initiative and our time that we spent together?
One of my favorite things is the fact that you can just make whatever you want, and also the fact that like I feel like safe in that, and that I have like people to talk to. So I thought that was very fun about that.
Cool, cool. And then what do you look forward to for 6th grade?
Well, I look forward to new opportunities,
Yes.
as like the drama club and the cross country and all the new classes. So
Oh, wow.
That's something that
That's gonna be cool. And guess what? One of the cross country coach is one of my great friends at the middle school. It's one of my best friends in the building. So I got the hookup already. What's one thing that you're gonna miss about 5th?
All right. And sorry. And then we love to express ourselves. So this is
That's it.
I can't do it though. This is my version.
So that's us in 5th grade, which is fun. They get to express themselves. All my 5th grade groups actually make their own playlists in my phone, and safe playlists, okay? And they make them, and I keep them. Those are one of my memories, too, to play their playlists over and over again. People are surprised that I know about, like, Hamilton and all this different stuff. So anyway, so in 6th grade at the middle school, I do a discovery class. It's primarily made up of Girls Empowerment Group Junior, a group that I coordinated and facilitated at Aquila Elementary last school year. It's focused on taking the fire and passion within them and directing it in a positive direction confidently, and welcoming their community engagement and welcoming speakers to come in and empower them, always being a leader no matter your interests. And they said yes to me. This is our 4th quarter. They've bugged me every day. And so we're actually kicking off 4th quarter. These are the girls that said yes to me last week in the 6th grade. And out of probably about 15 of them, 10 of them were with me last year at Aquila. They all said yes again. I was a little nervous at first, but that was it. And so then for 7th and 8th grade, helping them maintain, building relationships, strengthening relationships between the girl and her mother in a pivotal time of their lives, teaching them how to still spend time together and create personal time for one another, restoring damaged relationships among friends as they face growth challenges. You'll be surprised how 7th graders have drama, right? Reminding them that no matter their choice, I am in their corner. We attended a special movie screening of the movie Little. It was an entrepreneur and business theme. Black girls surrounded by Black women making a difference in their community through business. And these girls got to witness 2 girls around their age receive scholarships from community businesses to pursue their dreams. And so these are 2 of my students with their mothers at our movie premiere. All right, thank you. And then I also have an 8th grade skills class, helping them prepare for high school. And our topics include everything from identity to organization, respect, communication, career, and college. The objective is for them to be an independent student who can advocate for themselves and their journey. We live by the 5 Ps: proper preparation prevents poor performance. Life comes at you really fast, and they are able to reach out to me at the middle school from the high school at any time for support. And what's beautiful about SLP in our community is that the middle school staff allows for the reach because we're a small family-like district. So a special transition, and then this is about my wrap up here, a loss of a parent. So I have a student that is with me. Her name is Emily. She's in the 8th grade, who I've known since she was in the 6th grade. She belonged to my girls group, so we have a special relationship. We've built that over the years. About 2 to 3 weeks before school started, her father, who was her custodial parent, passed away. And the most, I guess, destiny connecting thing is the fact that we actually seen her the day that her father passed away. My partner there. We were at the hospital for him, and we seen their family, and it's kind of like, what's going on? Not really knowing. And that's the day that her father passed away. So we kind of connected from that. It was a tough start at the beginning of the school year, but we set a date to celebrate her dad's birthday. Emily, two of her best friends, and I took time to celebrate, complete with cupcakes, a gift. Her friends filled out cards, and we had a silly string party. Teaching her how to celebrate her dad's life, acknowledge her feelings, and make him proud through her success. We set goals for this fourth quarter, this upcoming summer, and she has identified a career path as she transitions into high school. I'm extremely proud of her and her progress. Like, she shocked me, telling me that she had a career picked out. I was like, oh my God, you know, because it's been a journey. And she knows no matter what she faces that I will encourage her and I will always be there for her. So we're honoring her father here. Oh, sorry. Now we're gonna yell happy birthday as loud as we can. What's your dad's name? Pat. Pat. So we're gonna yell happy birthday, Pat. That's and so you're gonna awkward. Yell Dad, right? And we're just gonna just annihilate each other with this silly string, okay? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? You got your silly string stance? Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday! So that's us. And then this is our pictures of celebrating her dad that day, which meant the world to her. At first she was acting really shy, but you could tell she took time for her appearance that day, and she even was like, I'm getting a little emotional, and just teaching her how to honor her dad. And so thank you for believing in me, St. Louis Park Schools, the Love Initiative in me. It's a continuum of belief and support. You all believe in me, I believe in the kids believe in us, and then we all just keep believing, right? The St. Louis Park Foundation, I feel honored to be connected to you all, and I look forward to doing more great work and collaborations together. The St. Louis Park Public Schools, the district office, shout out to Ms. Bailey. She helps me a lot in making a lot of this stuff happen, and in addition to the funds that you guys have given. PSI and Mr. Meslowski, Corey is like a great, great, great guy who is passionate about his kids. We've already even mapped out a plan for when they move and what that looks like in our future with time changes and all that stuff. And then, of course, my people at the SLP Middle School, Mr. Bork, Mr. Bowe, and the amazing staff who believe in me even when I don't even have no idea what I'm doing. And my honey, Mr. Juan Robinson Wade. Yes. So him, and then my child, Mr. Robinson, that's him sleeping there. He couldn't be here with us, but my family makes a lot of sacrifice for me to pursue my dreams, and they don't complain, even though they probably want to. And so I appreciate them. So thank you.
Thank you so much. So, Kara Bancroft. Nice to put names and faces together.
Absolutely.
Let me get you loaded up here. I can't remember here if you were in. I think you were a Google Drive one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. There's my Google Drive. A million. There you are.
I'm most impressed. You have all these.
There you go. Okay.
Thank you. All right, so my usual audience is a lot younger, and so some of you could start tapping pencils and rocking around. I might feel a little more comfortable up here. So I applied for a grant to better understand and adapt to the students' needs as they transition from Susan Lindgren to the middle school. I wrote the grant on behalf of the 5th grade classroom teachers at Susan Lindgren, our EL teacher who works with the fifth graders, and the special education teachers who work with 5th graders, Jason Bowl, and the middle school 6th grade teachers. So, because I feel like we all really benefited from this experience. So despite the fact that our schools are about 4.5 miles apart, okay, this is a video of X-Files music playing saying the truth is out there. Yes. All right. But because even though we're so close, and I've taught 5th grade for I think 10 years now, it still felt like this crazy place that I don't really know about, and I got most of my information coming from, 6th graders that would come back and visit and tell me stories about the middle school. And since a lot of you work with kids, not maybe the best factual way to get information about the middle school. So Jason Bull and I worked to set up an afternoon visit with your
great money. And so the teachers were set loose. They set us up with a schedule of where the 6th grade classes were happening, what rooms, and so we could kind of walk around. The teachers were super awesome and welcomed us into their rooms, so we could see what the transitions were like, how the flow kind of was over at the middle school. And then after their school day ended, we met with a panel of middle school teachers to talk about what happens in your side of the world. So Susan Lindgren, teachers involved, had brainstormed some questions, that we had, and the middle school certainly followed up with questions as the discussion got rolling. We found we had a lot of, it gave us a chance to create understandings instead of just assumptions. Homework was a big topic of discussion, Schoology and Power School, math. We talked a lot about the need for multiplication fact proficiency and for growth mindset for kids to be successful at the middle school. Opportunities and systems for helping kids who are struggling. It is so cool, and I think about the things I've seen already tonight. It's so cool to see the things that are happening that you don't realize are happening in our district to help make kids successful. So I learned about the success coaches and the GO classes that they've got at the middle school that I had no clue, and I'm embarrassed to say so, but differences in special education services. We talked a little bit about what that looks like so that we can be better educated to help educate the parents we work with. So from all of those discussions, we set some kind of actions for improvement. So we'll be talking to the Math Curriculum Review Committee and the people in our sites that are on that committee to kind of talk about the things that we noticed as we were talking about the areas the kids were successful and some places where they were struggling. And again, just kind of sharing with them that we really think that looking at the connection between the elementary curriculum and the middle school curriculum is an important piece because, they don't just start over with math. It should be something that flows. And then importance of extensive training on that new curriculum to make sure we're all teaching it to the highest degree. Again, the multiplication of basic math facts. So it gives us as 5th grade teachers a chance to really say, okay, this is super important, and they're not feeling like they're all of the students are knowing that. So we can and need to do better in that, and then help build students' mindset skills to work through the math struggles. So those were 2 areas that the middle school said, hey, we need some help from you guys building those things. And then for us as 5th grade teachers and the middle school teachers to be able to help the parents and guardians through the transitions, we realized that there were some misunderstandings about the fact that we don't use Power School at all to communicate grades with parents. And so that helped the middle school teachers understand that, oh, this is all on us. That's why they're not familiar with it and understanding how to use it from the get-go. So maybe they need more training opportunities. And then we realized the importance of getting them ready to go to the middle school, the kids with the Schoology and the parents helping them get logged in. So kind of being a building step to make them more successful at the middle school. And then especially for teachers that work with parents of kids who are receiving special education services, being able to proactively help them understand that things are going to be different at the middle school, and we now get a little bit of how, which was super helpful, that the special education teachers in the younger grades are kind of centrally housed, and that's really their hub the kids work around, versus they work with a lot of teachers and bouncing from room to room. So parents, instead of contacting the special education teachers, will need to contact the classroom teachers at the middle school. So that was new learning for us and something we'll be able to better help parents navigate. And probably what I'm most excited about is the chance to just have built that connection between the sites. And so we're working on coming up with better ways to keep that communication and connection going. One of the things we brainstormed is having the 5th grade teachers let the middle school know who are some of the kids who will benefit from those success coaches and go classes so that they can hit the ground running instead of taking weeks to get to know the kids and then starting those programs. So we were really excited about that. And then also creating ways for the middle school teachers to more easily identify who the fifth grade teacher was and give us a call, because we know those kids really well, and then we're a resource that they can tap into. So we're very excited about that. And I just want to pass on all the thank yous that I got, because everybody involved said thank you so much for setting this up, and I want to say thank you because it wasn't me. It was you guys that provided this opportunity. So thank you very much.
So this is the part where I get to apologize. Freddie Boyle did not make it onto the program. And he asked me, he said, does this mean I don't have to present? I said, no, you still have to present. So Freddie, come on up. I think you are right here.
Yes. So before we get going, I would like to recognize two people in the audience today. Diane Octor, my second and third grade teacher. And Mark Miller. I think I took physics with him. So my name is Freddie Boyle. I teach at Peter Hobart and Aquila. Tom Roberts teaches at Aquila. Chris Watkins, PSI. Jody Stefanowitz, Susan Lindgren. Brian Massey, who teaches at Peter Hobart, is unable to be with us tonight. So our grant was for a 5th grade track meet. We used to do a track meet for about 20 years, and it was only open to 3rd and 5th graders. There was a lot of conflicts with it: transportation, extracurricular activities. It was after school. And the biggest barrier was it was only to the top level athletes. So 8 to 12 kids per school, per grade got to go. So we wanted to change that. So in 2015, 2016, we had our first district 5th grade only track meet. And when we were setting it up, we wanted to have a model so that every student could participate, no matter what their ability level, no matter if they had transportation issues at home or if they were in any after-school activities. We also wanted every student to receive the support they needed if they needed any extra services so that they could participate. And because we still liked the idea of our old track meet, we did want to make a component so that the high-level kids could have a race just to themselves to keep a little competition going for them. So these are the things we wanted to do in our track meet. So right now, every single 5th grade student, no matter what their ability level, participates. All students from every school. They're taught all the events that we do at the meet in their FIAD classes before the track meet, so they get a tryout all the events that we offer to see which ones they might want to participate in. Each student has 3 events: 1 track, 1 field, and then they get an option. So if they like the hurdles but also want to run, say, the 400, they can do both and throw in a long jump if they want. So our track events, we do 50-meter hurdles. We were a little nervous the first year we did it. We didn't know how it was going to go. Turned out fine. We also offer a 50-meter, 100-meter, 200-meter, 400-meter, a mile, and a 4x100 relay that we do at the end. And that's the competitive race that a lot of the kids like. Every kid is in the bleachers cheering for the ones out on the track. It's a lot of fun. And we have our 4 field events: long jump, high jump, shot put, and discus. So one of the things we found out about this track meet is that it works really well transitioning to the middle school. Kids get to meet other kids from different schools. They're at the starting line together. They reach out to kids that they played sports with or they're in other clubs with. And it's just a way for them to make connections, meet some new kids before they go to the middle school. So we do have some pictures here. So this is one of our track meets, track races there. And Chris is our starter. And we were able to get him some ear protection for his starter's pistol so he doesn't go completely deaf. So we have our shot put and disc. Tom runs our shot put. We have our long jump pit, and Jody's usually at the high jump. And one of the things that we do with the help of the district and our PTOs is that each kid has a t-shirt. Schools have different colors, so we know which students are in which school. It makes it easier for recording their scores. It also is a great help to finding where the kids are. So if we're looking for someone, we know if they're, Aquila, they gotta be in a red shirt. So this is one of the things that we really like about it. And we get all the Phi-Ed staff here, and we just come together for one day, early June. It's a nice little send-off of elementary going to middle school.
I'm gonna kind of piggyback on what Freddie's saying. I'm gonna take this from a different angle, but you guys are gonna think I've taken one too many dodgeballs to the head. I'm gonna tell you what the foundation's money doesn't necessarily benefit. Who does this not necessarily benefit? Those are the kids that go out for maybe 5–10% of our students who go out for high school athletics, club sports, and all those things. Do they get to participate in this event? Yeah. Are they going to do good? Yes. But we have 85–90% of our kids that will never go out for high school sports, will never experience the long jump, the high jump, the discus. The foundation's money goes for those kids. For those kids to experience when they're running a 50-yard dash, and every fifth grader in the district is cheering for them to have that feeling. That's what the foundation's money goes for. And I can't think of a more equitable program that we have in the elementary system, so thank you very much.
Kelly Brown, come on up.
Teasing Mary, I'm giving a little shout out to my kindergarten teacher.
All right, I'm Kelly Brown. I work at the high school coordinating the 9th and 10th grade bar program.
And I'm Barb Nelson, the 9th grade counselor here.
And we're here to thank you for allowing us to show this Greenagers documentary. Barb and I, part of our roles is engaging parents at the high school level, which can be a challenge. And so we were talking with some neighboring districts sometime last year and asked what they do to really engage parents and what they've gotten the best turnout for. And they shared that they'd shown this documentary. And so we loved the idea of it, but we didn't have the funding to be able to show it. And so thanks to you, we were able to show it to a group of just under 200 parents back in September. This is kind of how the event was broken down. So we had some speakers from some local organizations. So Melrose, Care Clinic, and Hazelden all provided speakers who teamed with us to plan the event. And they did a little panel presentation before as well. We had kind of a wellness fair before we showed the documentary, and were able to provide food and snacks for people before they came as well. The benefits, we really rehearsed this. The benefits for our students and staff and families, I think we both would agree that it helped to support, we weren't trying to scare people about technology use. It's something we talk a lot about, having teenagers ourselves. And we know it's a hot topic with parents, and so the idea is how can we know our kids are going to use technology, how can we help support them to use it in a healthy way? And what kind of supports can we use as parents that are already there for us so we don't have to recreate something? We had people provided with not only dinner, but also resources after the film. And I have on this next slide here, Angela Franzen in particular, with our digital learning team through the St. Louis Park Schools, was able to provide a whole bunch of resources that parents could access after, from contracts to ways to monitor screen time and things like that. So that was very, very helpful for us as well. So hopefully people left feeling supported and not scared. And they were able to implement some of those resources right away after.
Yeah, the woman who created the documentary has, through the Screenagers website, you can sign up for Tech Tip Tuesday. So and as having teenagers, it's kind of nice because every week there's kind of a different topic that comes up for discussion that I can have in my own household with my own kids, with my students that I see, but lots of good things. So for those of you who need to check that out with your own families, you can do that.
And our testimonials, I don't need to read them to you, but we had some really good feedback from parents, and I think we had several parent advisory meetings after that this year, and had more parents and more questions about technology, and it was a way to kind of get people in the building, in the doors, and hopefully continue to work with us and partner with us through these next few years now that their kids are in the high school. So thank you very much.
Kara Cisco, you are up.
I asked my older daughter to do this, but she's too busy with her phone, so. Yeah. Maybe she needs to go to Screenagers. All right. My name is Kara Cisco. This is Avery. And I teach 2 classes at the high school. I teach civics, and I also teach an ethnic studies class. I designed the ethnic studies class when the opportunity to make an elective became available, and I designed the curriculum. I created the community partnerships. We partner with Normandale, we partner with Minneapolis Public Schools, we partner with the middle school, we partner with a handful of people, Minnesota Historical Society. And the other person that we partner with is Toussaint Morrison, who is an Emmy award winning, I can now say that, spoken word artist that I worked with for about 10, 15 years. And we partnered with him this year and last year, thanks to you. Toussaint has a gift that I don't have to help students synthesize everything that they've learned in the class and be able to create beautiful, perfect spoken word projects based on the hard history and affirming history that we learned in our class, and be able to that's our final, to create a spoken word piece based on that. Additionally, also thanks to the dollars donated by the foundation. Baby, you gotta settle down. Okay, that's fine, you can sit down. We were reached out to by a couple of equity coaches this year with regards to our students creating children's books about African American history in Minneapolis and reading them around several elementary schools. And so although it wasn't planned for in the grant, we had money available, so we brought Toussaint back in, and he worked with our students to take their spoken word pieces and turn them into children's books. And those are some of the books that you see around you right now. I want to tell you that these books were created in 4 days, because the time period that we created them in was around all the snow days. So I think should we get refunded next year, the books that we will Avery create next year will be
better. But for 4 days, this is pretty good. Students created books and then went to Hobart and PSI to read to a handful of classes. And so a grant that was initially meant to reach about 60 students ended up reaching about 1,000. I am a big believer in data. I collected a lot of data. I recently testified to Congress about collecting data. And so, of course, I collected data around this particular grant. But the data that I have for you isn't in the grant report. It was suggested, my kids are biracial. You can see I got one up here, and I got one back there. And it was suggested today to me that if, while we were discussing tardiness to class, that if we lock our doors, then our students will be on time to class. But I have data from my ethnic studies class to testify differently. Out of 36 second semester seniors, I have 3 students only that are tardy to class, and that's it. If we teach students content that is relevant and rigorous and relates to their lives and taps into their relationships, it makes the world of difference. And this grant demonstrates that. Thank you so much for this opportunity, for St. Louis Park now and for the future.
Okay, Stephanie, come on up. Stephanie Deutsch is going to talk about, well, I'll let you talk about it. There you go.
All right, I wrote a grant for expanding special education library at Susan Lindgren Elementary School. What was added to our library was a phonics-based chapter books that reached our struggling readers, that were engaging to them and about topics that were about fifth graders and fourth graders liked. These are called high-low books. They're written at a low level but high interest for them. They're short stories that have low Lexile ratings and graphic novels that include lower level text and pictures to go along with them. Here's some examples. Student testimonials. These are some of the kiddos in my class. They love that they can bring their chapter books to class even though they aren't usually able to read the chapter books that are found in the typical 5th grade classroom. They're fun, they have wizards, and they have the graphic novels that are not at a Q and a Z that you mostly see. The benefits are they're engaging, there's skill practice that build up on each other, there's vocabulary practice, it's appropriate for all levels, and it's excitement to read a chapter book. There's also a lot of variety. Upper in the up hand is high-low chapter books. They are really low Lexile that are about zombies and stones and things that are exciting to them. It also builds upon them as they read each book. These are all the books that were provided in my classroom. There was probably about 500 books that were given to my classroom. So they have gone to the resource room, the emotional behavior room, and the DCD level for all of them to share. Short and sweet, but it's really great.
Is Lindsay here? Okay, so we can pull this up. Here you are. Oh, wow. Okay, we got the whole crew. All right, stay close to the mic just so we can hear you, and away you go.
So I'm Lindsay Benson. I'm a first grade teacher at Aquila, and these are the other first grade teachers, Mary Overin, Nicole Luden, Stephanie Richardson, and Chelsea Ewell. So we asked for a grant of $5,000 to receive books to have guided reading books in our classroom. These are the books that we collected, we received. We house them in a classroom so that we as teachers can just go to the next door classroom and everyone has equal access to them. As teachers, it's our goal to get students excited about reading. And reading is, in first grade, it's a foundational skill, so we can set them up for success, so hopefully they're reading by 3rd grade. Here are a few of student testimonials. One of the students said, "They have a lot of pages so we can learn a lot. They are so bright and colorful, I like reading them." And she said, they help me become a stronger reader. I like the stories," which is really good to see first graders excited about reading. So the benefits we have is that these students, the books that we have, they're connecting to the learning we're teaching them throughout the day. So it's not just a random topic, but we're matching them with our IB content. All classrooms, like I said, have equal access. We have both fiction and nonfiction books, and they come also with multiple lesson plans. So we have our ideas, but then we can look for some more resources as well. And this is just a closer look at the books that we have. Keeping it short and sweet.
Get my steps in today. Ellen and George, are you here? Hi, okay. Come on and show.
Good evening. I'm Ellen George, and I'm the librarian at the high school. I, for years, look for any way I can to help readers. And there are some readers for whom listening to the books is a preferred format. It's a way they can read better. And I had, in earlier years, been involved in getting individual memberships to Learning Ally, which is a program that provides audiobooks, sometimes just classic audio and sometimes what they call voice text, which would be the text highlighted as they listen. And that is a research-supported strategy for struggling readers. And so I had bought this in the past, but it was very expensive. One seat for a year would cost $100, and now it's $135 for a year for one student. And once you have that name there, you couldn't change it. And I found that there was an institutional membership available for $2,500, and because Learning Ally has its own research that tells them that up to 20% of the population can benefit from audiobooks, that's what they allow, that number of seats, and I knew I could use that. And so this grant, and I'm in the second year of it, has made it possible for me to never say no, which is really kind of awesome, isn't it? And we also offer Chromebooks due to the great people in the tech department who would give me some of these older Chromebooks, and if you need a device, I can provide that. Most kids tend to have smartphones now. The app is free for Learning Ally, and students can learn how to use it very quickly. And I had fewer students this year by numbers that tried it, and not all kids will even go as far as really trying it. You'll create the account because a parent or a teacher or someone else thinks they'll benefit. Well, you know, it's that old you lead a horse to water sort of thing. But the kids who have tried it, more students are reading more. I have 2 students who have read over 2,000 pages each in Learning Ally, just those 2 kids. And I have more students this year using it more, and so I'm feeling very hopeful, and they're getting to know it. It's there, and I think they're learning to expect that it will be there, and I've been so grateful to be able to try this. I think it's making a difference for students. Of the first 2 students made the comments I hear very often, they have a lot of books. Many of their books are fiction. The novels that they're reading in English class are often in there. They also have textbooks in there. And that can be a benefit. Kids like to have the option to have that textbook on audio. And it's not everything, but it's a lot. And so my favorite quote was the 3rd student who seriously said, I don't think I would have passed English this year if I hadn't had Learning Ally. And she's a very good student, but our brains are all different, and this is a format that works for some of us. So you made this possible. Thank you so very, very much. I think that we all, well, you know I believe in reading, okay? And I think it can change lives, and any way I can suck a kid into the magic, the beauty that is there in reading, I'm a fan, and you have made it possible for me to spread some of that joy, to try and enhance the reading for students for whom it isn't easy all the time. So thank you.
Okay, Melissa is on her way. Melissa Hannah's coming, and I will just say as I'm loading this up, having read all these grant proposals along with Mary and Ingrid, it's really gratifying and amazing to see the results of this. So I'm enjoying this as much as you all are. Okay, I think you're on our Google Drive, folks. Is this you? Yes, okay.
Okay, so I coordinate early childhood screening for the district, so I'm kind of all by myself. But we see every child in St. Louis Park entering kindergarten. They come through screening because it's required by the state of Minnesota. We typically like to screen them between 3 and 4 years old. Some of them we're screening just before kindergarten. But with that information, we wanted to actually promote reading to our kids. The statistics are that kids that are read to are more likely to be prepared for school. They're more, 26% will know their alphabet or recognize their alphabet as opposed to 14%. So with that information, I wanted to provide a book to make sure that every home has a book that this child can read. These are other statistics that can count to 20, 60% versus 40%. They can write their own names, 54% versus 40%, and read or pretend to read, 77% versus 57%. With all of that information, we need to read to our kids. The money that I got from the foundation allowed us to buy books for our kids and provide a book for every child that came through screening this year. It was just, we had 15 different books for them to choose from. And with those books, we provided a sheet for tips for reading with children to the parents in their home language. The Humanities Center produces that document in 25 languages. So I would provide, if it was Somali on one side and English on the other side. So they had it in both languages, and they were able to choose a book. The 15 different books were alphabet books. So just animals, foods, it was all different ways to present the alphabet to these kids. I did purchase a few Spanish English books also for our Hispanic families. I couldn't find other languages that were reasonable enough to provide in the books, but every child walked out the door with a book. So here's a little boy, he's selecting his book, and one of the previous pictures was him with his book, and the tips for reading for the parents. So the families all loved having a new book to read with their kids, and or a book that was age appropriate in the home for them. It was just a wonderful thing, and they were so excited. So thank you very much for the funding so we could provide that. I'm hoping that our kindergarten teachers and our first grade teachers are going to start seeing some benefits from that maybe they'll be a little more prepared when they walk in the door. So.
Is Angela Jacob here? Yes, there you are. I thought I saw you. Okay.
I'm Angela Jacob. I teach art in the high school as pottery and painting. And so this is my 4th year teaching pottery, and I put in a grant request for 5 new pottery wheels to replace the really old pottery wheels that we've had. And so I got those. They've been really helpful. The old wheels would break down a lot, and I am really lucky to have one-to-one student to wheel ratio, so every student can have a wheel. And they've been making some amazing bowls and mugs in Pottery 1 and in Pottery 2 tea sets and different things, so it's been great. So the students love working on the wheels. I have them write reflections at the quarter end, so these are coming from the reflections. Making bowls on the wheel has been my biggest success. I can make them different sizes, which is cool. These are some mugs. Once I had clay centered, which it's always interesting to hear students tell me that they thought that pottery was going to be really easy, but it's not. They were able to make some pretty unique pots, and I think that was one of my strengths. And I like throwing on the wheel. I feel like I can shape the pot in whichever way I want, and I really love it. Also, the symmetry of it is fun. So these are some images of some recent bowls and mugs. I also asked them why they, other skills that they think they're learning that are not necessarily pottery related, just to have them reflect on why they might be taking art classes in high school. And so a lot of students responded with patience, but I'm learning to stay calm and keep trying when I don't succeed right away. So, I'm learning how to be patient and show persistence. You need patience for your pieces because if you aren't calm, you could just make things worse. Persistence is needed for trying over and over again until you get it right. So, and then last, I'm learning how to make my mistakes and improve from them. In pottery, it is very easy to make mistakes, so you must take a mistake and learn from it. So thank you for approving the grant. It's allowed me to replace the wheels and to continue to build on this program, which this is my 4th year, and I'm really proud and happy to be part of it. Students can now be one-to-one, and it's also benefited the community ed classes that are in the studio as well. So thank you so much.
So is Erica Scott here? Krista Gibbon is unable to join us this evening, so we're going to move on to it. Hi. Let's get you queued up here. You're one of our got a lot of Google Drive folks. There you are. There you go.
Hi, my name is Erica Scott. I'm an early learning preschool teacher over at Central Community Center. I teach 4- and 5-year-olds. We know that for young learners, science is an extension of their everyday world. Young children understand the world through firsthand investigative experiences that encourage them to explore, ask questions, do research, and collect data. Science activities can also be vehicles for vocabulary development, small motor coordination, counting, sorting, and shape and color recognition. We realized we were in need of some high-quality, engaging materials to introduce our students to exciting science topics. So that's how the concept of the Budding Scientist Kits came about. Thanks to your generous grant money, we were able to create 16 Budding Scientist Kits. At the moment, we have 26 teachers who are implementing their kits in their classrooms, which is having an impact on 356 students ages 3 to 5. When we were planning for the kits, we came up with 8 distinct science themes, and within those themes, we designed kits that were appropriate for eight kits that were appropriate for age 3 classrooms, and 8 kits that were appropriate for age 4 and 5 classrooms. And these kits rotate from room to room each month. So I'll share a little bit about the themes that we chose. The first theme we chose was magnets. You see some kids interacting with the magnet kit. Theme number 2 is the human body, 5 senses, and health and nutrition. Theme 3, color, light, and magnification. Theme 4, the natural world. Theme 5, sink and float. Theme 6, motion discovery. Theme 7, animal discovery. And theme 8, life cycles. The kids love these kits, and we have some quotes from them for you. So, Ava, age 4, said, "I learned that it's good to brush your teeth and tongue." And Will, age 3, liked to brush those big teeth after giving the mouth food. Here we have Haley, Peter, and Jamie who are going to comment on our ramps, which are part of the motion discovery. Can I play this?
I don't have the permission that you have, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Too bad. It was cute. Sorry. All right. Oliver, age 5, said, "You could see the bones inside the person's body because you can't usually see them." And Kellen said, "I like the cool teeth. They are so white." Here the girls are learning about the human body. Jane, age 5, said, "We took turns and we learned about body parts." Greta, age 4, said, "The heart is red and it looks like a hand." Kenneth, age 5, said, "When I shine my flashlight through my castle, it makes a cool color picture on the wall." Simon, age 5, "You collect the blue fish and I'll collect the red fish." And Imran, age 5, said, "Magnets don't like each other." Here, Alice, age 4, said, "These colors make the night sky." The kids love the kits, but the teachers do too. Teacher Jessica, who is a 4 and 5 early learning teacher, said, "The science kits have enhanced student learning by making the kids more curious about the animals we're studying. They're interacting with each other and communicating on a higher level. The kits teach them to share and talk about the world around them." Teacher Vanessa, a 4 and 5's early learning teacher, said, "Every time I take out a new kit, the kids are clamoring to see what it is and who gets to try it first. The kits have really piqued their curiosity about science and enhanced what some of them already knew in a tangible way. We're learning about magnets, and it's been fun watching them engage with their classmates in science play. The kits have allowed us to touch on different science concepts that I've wanted to dive into more for years but didn't have the resources to do so. Now we can, and I'm so grateful. The benefit of these kits is evident on their faces and in their learning. They love the kits, and I do too." Here, teacher Lisa, a 3's early learning teacher, said, "The budding scientist kits have been an exciting addition to our 3-year-old classroom curriculum. The materials allow for self-directed exploration, which fosters experimentation and discovery. Incorporating these kits provides an essential hands-on component. New insights are gained into how things work as the children begin by making their own predictions and actively testing them. As the outcomes unfold before their eyes, their enthusiasm is clearly evident. The variety of themes mesh so well with what we're working on and allow for an experience that deepens understanding and curiosity." So on behalf of the Early Learning Department, we'd like to thank the St. Louis Park Schools Foundation for your generous money. And I had a super cute video. Oh, maybe they'll let me play it. No? Probably not. It's my kids yelling, "We love science."
It wouldn't be a presentation if there wasn't some technology issues, right? So, Chris, hi.
Yep, hi.
Are you in? Nice to meet you too. Finally.
Yeah.
I think you're one of our.
I'm the orange one right.
This is you. Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Here you go.
All right.
First of all, I have a suggestion for the foundation. Maybe it should be a grant proposal, I don't know. But it's amazing to hear of all the different ideas, and I'm blown away with all the book. I'm a K-12 reading license teacher, and so it's really exciting to hear of all the book ideas of how people are motivating kids to read around the district. I think you guys need to get a rubber stamp for all the books, because it's incredible how many books you have paid for and helped all the students across the district. So that's really fantastic. So thank you for that. So I asked for a very small grant to help buy books, to just help kids read more, because we all know that if we want students to be proficient readers, they need to read a lot. So I last year was in a 5th grade class year, and then this year I'm in a 3rd grade classroom. So I've bounced around a little bit from room to room, and I've seen the need for new books in classrooms. So that was what I wanted to do with my grant. There's so many new books that are coming out each year, and classrooms really need to be getting those new books into the hands of kids each year. It's not enough to get books one year and then not replace them. They need constant resupplying of really great books. So I'm going to do this. And I want to just tell you this story really quick, because I've learned tonight that 3 minutes goes really fast. So I want to tell you the Dragon Masters story from my classroom this year. When the school year started, I had one young boy beginning, and I knew that he was reading a little bit below grade level, and I knew the importance of the teacher connecting the student with a book that they loved. So I knew he was a sports guy, so I pulled together some sports books and sat down with him, and I was like, I really think you're going to like this book. Let's just see if it's a good fit match, and read to me a little bit. And it wasn't a good fit. He couldn't read all the words on the page, and he couldn't comprehend, and it was frustrating for him. So I knew that I had some work to do as a teacher, and so I should go back one slide, because the grant that I got helped purchase over 120 books at an average of $4.16 a book. I got bonus points, and it helped us get all excited. So anyways, the grant helped purchase the Dragon Masters series, and so I got one of these books out of the box, and I sat down with this young reader, and I said, let's take a look at this book and see if this is a good fit for you. And indeed it was, and he could hardly put it down that initial day that I read with him. And he went on to read all 13 books in the series and beg his parents to pre-order the 14th that comes out April 30th. But this is so cool, because he then got about 8 other boys in my class to read all 13 books. So it's just been really fun to get new books and introduce them to kids and get them excited about reading. So thank you very much. And buy that rubber stamp, because I think it's cool.
Thank you, Chris. Corey, are you in the house? Corey, okay. Come on, computer. Fail me now.
I don't know if I'm going to use this or not, but I'm going to put
Just
it
stay up near the mic so we can definitely hear you.
Oh, you'll be able to hear me.
Okay.
I'm sure, but anyway, I could. Oh, okay. So, good evening. My name is Corey Litzel-Lorenz, and I am one of the EL teachers here at St. Louis Park High School. I've also taught EL at PSI and at the middle school as well. And I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to have this grant to buy the purple kit of leveled literacy instruction. Instruction or intervention? I thought it was intervention, but I think I wrote instruction for English learners. And like I said, so I taught at PSI, and Sally Goddard introduced me to this program and really just guided me through the whole thing, and I absolutely loved it with kindergarten through 5th grade. And then when I heard about this grant, I thought, I want to buy this kit for my levels 1, 2, and 3 English learners. And it's a comprehensive program that really helps all students who struggle with reading and writing. but particularly my students who are doing it in a language that is not their home language. These are just some of the results, but I think what I really want you to see, what I think is really important, is the student testimonials. So I asked students, how has LLI helped you to become a more proficient reader? And I have students from, so 9th through 12th grade in all my classes. So the classes are all mixed. I have students from the Democratic Republic of Congo, students from Mexico, Ethiopia, Ecuador, just to name a few. This is some of the things that they said that they like. And I just want to show you or point out Abby Simon is a 9th grader who was actually born here in the United States, but her family's from Mexico. And this really, she's not a very motivated student. She's gotten more so over the year, but when I read her comment that some teachers have said to her that she can read better, and she says that it's partly or maybe mostly because of LLI, that really, for me, was very touching. And you know, it's not just me, it's not just the program, but it's also Abby, you know, putting forth the effort. So, and then the other question I asked them is, what do students like about LLI? And here are some of the things that they said. I know students really like having these folders or pockets, I'm not quite sure what to call them, where they can keep all the books that we read. Students really like the literacy notebooks that is divided into 2 different sections. A word study section, and then a writing about reading section. And then here are 3 other students. So one from Haiti, another one from Ethiopia, and then again Franklin from Ecuador. So that's it, but thank you so very much. We really, really appreciate it, the kids and I. So thank you.
Okay, Jessica McGinley. Okay. Get away. Nice to meet you in person. I've been corresponding with everyone, so it's nice to see faces.
You as well. Hi, my name is Jessica McGinley, and I am an early childhood special education teacher over at Central. And this is Britt Albrecht, and she is an early learning preschool teacher as a general education teacher, who also teaches at Central. And our programs are unique to our district because we are really, truly the only school that fully integrates our classrooms with regular ed kiddos and those who have IEPs. And not just the kids that are mildly affected by their disability, but are really pretty needy kiddos. So our model is we team teach with each other, and hopefully we can bring both of our knowledge to better our families and our kiddos. But our grant that we proposed was, we know what best practice is, and we know what development is, but what we were really curious about is how does that really look in St. Louis Park? And what does that really look for our kiddos? So what we did is we partnered with our regular ed early childhood teachers, our special ed early childhood teachers, as well as kindergarten teachers from every school that we have in our district. And what we wanted to do was not just make the random phone calls that we have in the past, like, what are you guys looking for when it comes to literacy? Or what do you look for when it comes to group time? But we wanted time to systematically be able to go into the classrooms of our kindergarten colleagues and see what does it look like in there. And they were so generous because they let us come in that second week of school, that third week of school, when everyone is still running around trying to figure out their own plan. And we were in the classrooms with them, watching, looking, seeing what our kids need to do when they walk through that door. Then they also allowed us to come back a month later, and then again another month later, and spend hours in their classroom observing them and their students and all the expectations that was around that. And it was really, really eye-opening for all of us teachers in preschool because we hear it, we see it, but kindergarten has changed. It's changed a lot even in the last 5 years. So to be able to get this time to talk with them and see it hands-on has really been beneficial for us. But our second part was we wanted to know, what do we do with this information? And more importantly, how do we share it with our families? And so what we did in this second portion is in February is we took some of our grant money and we put it towards a family interaction night, which included 150 of people around our district of families that have 4-year-olds going to kindergarten next year. And we had a couple of our kindergarten teachers come that night who really just let the parents ask questions. They told them what they see as a kindergarten teacher, but more importantly, what they can do at home now to get their kiddos prepared for the school year. We are a lot of times the first faces that our families see in this district. And when we look back at our own kids and know how scary that transition is, getting on a big bus and letting them go to school all day, it was really eye-opening for our families because a lot of them think academics and they think reading and writing and math and they need to know their letters and they get all nervous and excited about those. But what our families were missing was the practical stuff, because our kindergarten teachers are really confident that they can teach math and reading and all those academic skills. But what's really hard for them are the functional, the practical, and the social emotional skills. And that was really eye-opening for our parents and practical ways that they can help with that. So kind of just going through for time, these were some of the pictures from our family event. We served some food and had time for parents to connect with each other, as well as over 35 of our staff members, both paraprofessionals and teachers that were there connecting with families. And then we had the kids leave and split up and go to classrooms to do some fun stuff so the parents could really talk with the kindergarten teachers. This last little one is just future kindergarten teachers. Right. And so we just want to thank you guys because we still are working on this. We still have now our spring portion where our kindergarten teachers are going to come to us and look at our kids right before they leave us, as well as time for us to connect and get together and really talk about what we have learned and again, how to move it forward. So we are hoping that next year too, that we can do more of this research to really get our kids in St. Louis Park prepared for that next big step. Thanks.
Now we're going to hear from Mark Miller. He bears gifts. Hold on. Why am I looking for this thing? Here we go. Where are you, Mark? All right.
Okay, I'm Mark Miller. I teach science and engineering here at the high school. I was granted a $6,200 grant from the foundation. I teach engineering, and engineering and anything in technology is so expensive, and it's constantly changing. And the cool thing that I get to work with is toys all day. And this is one of the projects that my seniors have made. And the cool thing about engineering and the cool thing about the grant and the foundation, which has basically supported me since I've been doing engineering, is kids start to discover problems with the technology that we have. So, you know, we have these great 3D printers. We have gravity. That the kids will go onto CAD and they'll design these gears, and we cut it out of plastic, and then they get their robots going or they get their cars going, and they figure out, well, plastic breaks. Mr. Miller, fix it. I'm like, it's plastic. Like, what am I supposed? I can go to Menards, buy more plastic. We can make more gears. But then I saw through a GoFundMe thing that all of a sudden this tool was coming out that's, the first of its kind. It's called the Wazer, and it can cut anything with water, and which is amazing in its own. And so you start to, you really draw kids in when you start talking technology, because it's what they love. I don't know, probably won't. Well, it looks like it might. So here's just, and I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but so here's a stream of water. Okay? That's glass, steel, tile. Now we can, instead of cutting our gears out of plastic, out of metal, out of aluminum, we can do just about anything with this machine. And the really cool thing about the grant is it allowed me to buy this thing for less than $6,000. I went online now, and they're almost $8,000. So this is, and I would guess that very few schools will have one of these. So Mr. Paulson and I, now we have another tool that we can continue to bring kids in, and really, teach them, no pun intended, cutting edge technology. So unfortunately, because it is, I'm going to stop it. Oh yeah, I'm going to do it. I could just watch it all day, man. Yeah, so this is the application too, like Mr. Paulson that does woodworking, and he does a lot of this, the kids now can come design, cut tile, and teach them again skills that they can actually use, which is really, really cool, because the kids just totally buy this stuff. Anything that they can learn how to do, they absolutely love. So it's kind of cheating. I really don't have to fight my kids to come to class, because they see this stuff and they get to use it, and it's amazing. So fortunately for me, it didn't come in yet. So I had $6,200. I was going to buy extra supplies and all that fun stuff, but I'm super excited. It's supposed to come in the next couple weeks. But so you can read these boring objectives. But because it didn't come in, I was approached by a community member, a parent that I've worked with for several years now, and he said, drone racing. This is where it's at. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I don't know. I'm not a I'm not a video gamer, but he's like, you got to look into this. So I looked into it, and the opportunity came hey, we can be the first high school, along with Apple Valley, to ever do a high school drone race. And I'm like, I'm in. So I was able to get a couple, but we're totally outmatched. Apple Valley's got buku dollars down there. And so I was able to buy some. Anyone from Apple Valley? So I said, we can't go down to Apple Valley with this little controller. The kids, when I pulled it out, I'm like, here's our starter kits, and they're like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, this is what it came with. And so with the grant, so I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to just check, because I like to do things right. So I called them. I was like, can I use the leftover money to do this thing? This is what we're talking about now. So again, this is the cool thing with the grant is it allows me to go buy stuff like this. It's going to take us a week at least to figure this thing out. And so, but you pull it out of the box, and it's they're just like, how do you do? I'm like, stop. Here's the manual. Read the manual. Well, I don't understand this. Go on YouTube. Watch a video. And it's just so all of this stuff that, if you come down 7th hour, wear a helmet. Not just in the construction zone, but they're learning so much, and they're so excited. I actually have 3 or 4 kids now who aren't even in my class 7th hour, who either don't have to be in school or have worked out a deal with their other teacher to come down. So this is the stuff that brings kids into the classroom, and it's amazing. And somewhat dangerous, but thank you, because we would be going down to Apple Valley getting our butts kicked if I still had the little controllers. And I don't like to lose. So thank you.
So we're going to move on to Rachel Nelson. Come on up. Why am I? That's right, thank you. More. Oh wait, because you're in PowerPoint, okay. I think.
Slides.
So you're in slides. Yep. Why am I not seeing more? you. No, I had it loaded somewhere. Warm welcomes. Okay, hold on. There we go.
I'm Ann Moore. I'm not Rachel Nelson, but and this is Olivia Blood, and we are elementary school counselors. I've been here for the last 8 years in the district, and so what we really wanted to do was work with the new students to our district. So we called this Warm Welcomes, and we do this at all 4 of our elementary schools. And the goal was to really meet our new students in a really intentional way to create a really warm transition and a welcoming transition as they come to our school. So what we really wanted to do was create a welcome kit that each kid could get when they come to the school as their first introduction. We wanted to meet with them in ongoing small groups and really work on creating meaningful interactions and relationships with staff and then with other students at the school. So these are what the welcome kits look like that each kid got when they came to school. We got maps from the city of St. Louis Park. We got some bookmarks and brochures from Children First, and then we also put a book in each of the kits as well. This is just us putting together the kits and some of our new students. And then throughout the year, the students have been invited to participate in an ongoing small group that provided a safe and structured environment where they could foster new friendships. We did a lot of team building activities with them, played a lot of games, got out the fun toys like Play-Doh. And this is some of our students during those groups. And so we've worked together as a counseling team, and we've really worked to build a stronger, more intentional connections with our new students, and we've seen our students be motivated to invest in themselves and their school community quickly after starting at our schools. And as a result of your grant dollars, and what we've been able to do is reach 170 new students as of April 1st, and over 70% of our new students identify as students of color. And as a result of participating in our programming, our students have reported being more connected to other students and staff at our schools. They've been actively engaged in team building activities. They've fostered new friendships with other new students and other students that have been at school. And they've established relationships with their school counselors, and it's given them an opportunity to enhance their overall well-being at school. So we've seen students that wouldn't have normally been seeking us out come to us with problems that they've been having at school. Just some testimonials from students. The kids have said that the warm welcome groups are so much fun. They love coming to them because they get to spend time with their new friends. And it helps them learn about their new school and feel cared about, which is really what we wanted. So a big thank you to you for your grant money and for allowing us to do this. Thank you.
We've made it to our final presentation. Steve Schmitz is going to talk to us. Find yours amongst all of them. There you are. Okay.
Hi, my name is Steve Schmitz. I teach band and world drumming at the high school.
Minnesota Teacher of the Year finalist.
Thank you. So the project was replacing old Afro-Caribbean drums for our world drumming classes here. I guess I started with the testimonials. This doesn't specifically mention the new drums because they were just unsolicited comments that students sometimes write us notes or whatever. I think this one does, though. Yeah. Appreciate that you helped us get new drums when the old ones were broken. And then the benefit, it's hard to hide from high school students that class has a budget of 0, which it does. And grants and borrowing money from the band department are the only way that we got any new materials. So this grant and the new drums brought increased pride in the students and in the new equipment and in their class. And the proof would be how well they're treated. We all know if we have a new car versus a janky one, that we're going to definitely treat the new one a lot better because it starts beautifully. And so there's almost no natural wear and tear or intentional abuse that there has been on the old ones. Enough confidence to perform in public on these new, better sounding drums and to their community. They have played at Tower Light Senior Home this year, as well as just last week or this week, it kind of runs together, the BAR Building Assets Reducing Risk Conference in St. Louis Park this school year. This is currently the only entry-level class, no prerequisite in the music department and for sure in the band department. So it's given students a chance who maybe the traditional band orchestra model wasn't their thing, or they missed the opportunity for some reason. And it's diversified the racial makeup of students in the band program. Black and brown students in the world drumming program, which is the majority, 80%, have increased the overall number of students of color in band I can speak to by 27%. Students, sorry, I spelled students wrong. So they get to collaborate because they get into small groups to create beats, and 4 times a semester they do that and later share these beats with the class, and they use these new drums. We collaborate with the community, as I mentioned earlier, at these events. Here's a couple students, pictures taken with permission. One looks real happy, but he's sort of just trying to be tough, to be honest. And then it was really quite beautiful, honestly. I know we've been here a long time, but it was quite beautiful to see folks that we bring them joy and they can't necessarily go to a concert. And this was at the bar convention just the other day. And one more of a student with a senior. So thank you sincerely.
Thank you, everyone, for hanging in there. I know we pushed far beyond. I think that actually this is testimony to, we had so many great grant proposals last year and so many great ones that we accepted and funded, 20 plus, so that's why we have so many. I was looking at the time and I was like, oh my gosh, how are we gonna make it? But they're all so good. I'm not gonna cut anyone off. So thanks for hanging in there. Thank you for coming. Please send more grant applications in and encourage your colleagues to. It is our pleasure to find the ways to support what you're doing and amplify what you're doing. So have a great rest of your school year.